50% of salespeople are using LinkedIn to beat their sales quota. Social selling, whether you like this or not, is the new name of the game. In fact, 90% of C-level executives ignore cold outreach altogether, especially since 84% of these individuals are consulting social media before making B2B purchase decisions. As a result of this, I'll say it here, I'll say it loud, cold calling to fill your pipeline is on its last legs. And on the flip side of all this, 3/4 of all B2B sales representatives are not getting any, none, zero social selling training. So you can see the importance and why I created this video for you. So how do you create prospects on LinkedIn, and what should you be doing to avoid having issues on the platform as well? Let's get into it in this video on LinkedIn prospecting. Hi, my name is Will Barron, founder of Salesman.org, where we make selling simple. If you want to learn how to make selling simple, if you want to take one of our training programs, if you want to learn more about what we talk about in this video, just click on one of the links below in the description box. So what is LinkedIn prospecting? It is the process of searching for, identifying, and connecting with LinkedIn users, and then of course, converting them into potential customers. And time again, we hear the maxim, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And this is true for LinkedIn prospecting as well. People choose to be on LinkedIn. They're proactively choosing to be on LinkedIn to make professional connections. And part of that hunt is that they've got to be open to being approached as well. This makes the LinkedIn platform the perfect place, as long as your customers are on there, to find and nurture new potential customers. But and before you do this is a massive but, before you start approaching unsuspecting LinkedIn users and just bombarding them, spamming them with the features and benefits of your product, that doesn't work. Instead, researching your prospects on LinkedIn and sending them a bespoke message that resonates with their needs is a far better way to get their attention. And LinkedIn has over 770 million users as I record this video right now in 2021. And so it's no surprise that your customers are probably already on there and ready to be connected with. So let's jump into some do's and don'ts when you're prospecting on the LinkedIn platform, and let's start with the things that you should be doing. First off, before you reach out to anyone, you need to optimize your headline, because first impressions really do matter. There's no two ways about it. They are crucial for your success in prospecting on the platform. And when you're prospecting on LinkedIn, your profile is usually your first impression. So the most important thing on your profile is typically your headline. This is what sells you. This is what explains what you do, the value that you can offer, and maybe a little bit about you personally as well. So we want to go from this to something more like this. Now, if you ignore this headline field, LinkedIn won't leave it blank. Instead, the headline field will revert to your job title and the company, the corporation that you work for. And whilst this isn't a total sin, it's not going to help you stand out. You need to generate new sales leads. And this means hooking up with potential customers. And a captivating headline can help you stand out versus everyone else that's reaching out to your customers on the platform as well. Next, when we're talking about your headline, you've got to pay attention to your audience. Who very specifically are you trying to reach? This is one of the biggest issues that I see when people join our Selling Made Simple Academy program. Salespeople are great at emailing. They're great at calling, but they don't know who they should be prospecting. And so you need to understand who you're prospecting and make this clear in your headline as well. And don't use any technical jargon. Your customer might not understand it, and if they don't understand what your message is and what you can do for them, then of course they're not going to click on your profile, they're not going to respond to you either. Keep your headline straightforward and don't ruin the whole sales process before you've even reached out to the potential customer. Tip number 2 is that you've got to keep posting. You've got to post constantly and regularly. This is where people who are doing social selling fail all the time. We talk about this all the time on the Social Selling Show with myself and Daniel Disney. And posting content is going to seem really daunting at first. You're going to get very few likes and little to maybe even zero engagement. Sometimes it's even going to feel pointless putting all this effort into content. But we've all got to start somewhere. At first, when you're new on the LinkedIn platform, it's more important to be consistent than it is to be good. The more content that you post, the more regular you are when you're posting content, it establishes trust, it establishes more familiarity with you, your face, your tagline that's going to be underneath each of these posts in your buyers' timelines, and it's going to exponentially increase your chances of gaining followers, gaining people who want to consume your content, and obviously then it starts to spread. All of this content, all these posts allow you to start showing off your technical expertise, which is way, way more friendly and more compelling than what your profile allows you to put on there. On your profile, you've just got bulleted lists. Hey, I do this, I do that. Versus in your content, when you're posting regularly on your timeline, you can be more nuanced, you can dive into smaller, detailed topics, and your buyers are going to lap it up. And again, as I said at the top of this point, you need to have a specific target audience defined before you start building content. Otherwise, you're going to find that you've got tons of different followers, tons of people commenting on your posts, tons of prospects from adjacent markets that you're never going to be able to sell and close. The next LinkedIn prospecting tip is to learn to use the search option smartly, because LinkedIn search is actually capable of way more than what it's given credit for. Because in addition to searching just for names, job descriptions, regions, role titles, industries, all of this obvious stuff, you can integrate what's called Boolean operators to specify or broaden your search results. There's more information on Boolean operators in the link that's below this post where we go into all of this in more detail, but using things like quotation marks, not, and, or, these words can help you refine your search results to get you where you want to go faster. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to search for people who have manager in their profiles, but you want to avoid people who are manager assistants or senior managers. Well, you can accomplish this by searching manager and then NOT, not executive, senior, assistant. This will search the LinkedIn database for prospects that are managers, but not assistants, executives, or senior managers. Alternatively, you might want to broaden your search results. So you can use the OR operator, OR. So you could search for person or company or product, and it will come up with any of those keywords in one single search. That's pretty cool, right? You can also set up search alerts for reoccurring searches that you want to make every week. This is going to massively accelerate and speed up your LinkedIn prospecting efforts, and it's going to catch people who have changed jobs, got promotions, or moved to a company that you want to prospect very specifically. To do this, just search for a specific word string, Boolean operator, or your potential customer, your prospect, and then click the Create Search Alert button. And the final point in this tip is that when you search for prospects, you're probably going to reach out to them, right? Absolutely fine. It's going to be a LinkedIn message. It's going to be an in-mail message. But before you do that outreach, do a tiny bit of research. Make sure that you're building a relationship with that message before you just start getting your pitch and shoving it down people's throats. And the final thing that you should definitely do when prospecting on LinkedIn is to invest in LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And whilst it's not a small investment, it can really help your LinkedIn prospecting efforts. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is similar to LinkedIn Search, but LinkedIn Sales Navigator comes with far, far more targeting power with search results. For example, Sales Navigator allows you to filter and refine your search until you find the very specific, tiny sliver of potential customers that have a high level of specificity that you'll be able to do business with. And once you have a result that you're interested in, you can save the result as well. This ability to save your LinkedIn searches acts similar to search alerts, and you'll be notified of new results adhering to your requirements as and when they're updated in the LinkedIn database. So there are 4 things that you should be doing on the LinkedIn platform when you're prospecting for new customers. Let's cover 4 things that you should definitely not be doing. So first up, you shouldn't be sending non-personalized LinkedIn messages. And whilst cold calling has worked exceptionally well in the past, well, social anxiety has increased. The fact that we don't have office desk phones anymore has decreased the effectiveness of it as well. We can see this in the data, the popularity of text messages on mobile phones, and of course, the success of people social selling on LinkedIn is testament to the lack of effectiveness of cold calling, again, as I record this in 2021. But you've got to make sure that you're not spamming people when prospecting in these new differentiated ways. A well-drafted LinkedIn message is your most valuable weapon, second only to having a fully established LinkedIn profile and having content being pumped out day in, day out. I'm not saying that you have to draft long, laborious messages to your potential customer, that you're referring to multiple issues and problems and how you can solve it, but aim to have a clever, yet pretty subtle message that piques the interest and makes the buyer want to know more. You don't want to solve all of the buyer's problems and burdens via one massive LinkedIn message. You're trying to get them on the phone. We're trying to get them off LinkedIn and into a warm prospecting call. The next thing that you shouldn't do on the LinkedIn platform is forgetting all of the sales that you've already made. Not adding or at least inviting your current customers to your LinkedIn network is a massive schoolboy error. These good customers that hopefully you've served well and they enjoy working with you can add credibility by giving you recommendations, testimonials, and they can increase your reach exponentially if you're creating content and they're in the comments and they're liking and sharing those posts as well. Dead simple. You've got to invite everyone that you've worked with who have had success with you onto LinkedIn and engage with them. Tip number 3 that you shouldn't be doing on LinkedIn is just overdoing everything that I'm talking about here. Keep it natural, right? Plain and simple. This is if you don't want to get your account restricted. Yep, I said it. LinkedIn has the authority and they do this regularly to put you in LinkedIn jail, to suspend your account or even ban users that they deem unfit to be on the platform. And automated LinkedIn tools may seem to make your life easier when you're prospecting on the platform, but LinkedIn, of course, it's owned by Microsoft. It's a multi-billion dollar company. They're smart enough to realize when non-human actions are taking place on their platform. So, for example, automating your profile to reach out to multiple connection requests every day in the order of magnitude of tens or hundreds is just going to get you suspended, or a step worse than that is going to get your account banned. Other examples of poor automation that people try to use before they get a kick and a punch from LinkedIn include visiting a vast number of profiles every day and generating this artificial engagement. And the final thing that you should not do on LinkedIn is to misuse LinkedIn groups. LinkedIn groups used to be super powerful for prospecting on the platform. They're less useful now, but you can still abuse them really easily, and that's going to discredit and remove any trust that you've built on your profile and your online persona. And whilst there are thousands and thousands, probably hundreds of thousands at this point of sales reps on LinkedIn, you can showcase your expertise in your niche by joining not sales groups, not prospecting groups, none of that. Joining relevant industry groups where you can add a layer of authority to, you can answer questions, and you can build a personal brand in there as well. But don't treat these LinkedIn groups as an opportunity to just, again, shove your pitch down the throat of anyone who will listen. Instead, play it strategically. Narrow down the groups that you can be active in and slowly increase your influence as an authority within the group. Add value, jump into conversations, and within no time, you're going to be seen as an expert in your space. And that has tremendous value on LinkedIn and off it as well. So there we go. Social selling on LinkedIn, it's here to stay. And while social selling might seem a little bit daunting at first, knowing your way around building trust, establishing authority, and generating prospects is as simple as what we've discussed in this video. So personalize each connection request, leverage LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and do Boolean search to target your potential customers more effectively. Avoid any LinkedIn prospecting tools and automation, and start generating some business from LinkedIn. Another prospecting video done. If you enjoyed this one, if you want to continue your sales education, why not click the video that's right here on the screen right now.